Welcome, everyone. This is a unnamed podcast at the moment, but I'm Dan Albeck. I am here with Luke Most and Sam McNamara, and we are starting a podcast from home and then in our Marist dorms, talking all things sports, baseball, basketball, and football specifically. Hockey is irrelevant. At this current moment, it is July 21st. The Yankees are losing 2-1 in the bottom of the eighth.
Wow.
And we got a great podcast lined up for you guys today. Luke, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's a hot day. It's like
Hot.
breaking 100 over here.
It's hot.
Stay
cool.
Yeah, drink water, stay hydrated, But hey, I'm chilling.
Yeah. Sam, what about you?
I'm doing horribly. It's hot out. The Yankees are losing.
That's not new. You've been to like 2 Yankees losses already. That's like more than.
That's true.
I've been to my record. Right, my record for the Sox is 1-0 this year. So
really, my all-time record's 1-2.
That's pretty. I think I've been to like only 2 losses, but
the win, Brett Gardner hit a grand slam against the Sox.
Oh fuck, that's awful.
That's a good one.
That's like to. I would probably just like never enter the stadium. Was it in Fenway or?
It was Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I would never enter Yankee Stadium again. We got a trivia question for the NBA boys.
Let's get it.
Not as well versed in the NBA, but let's see if these boys know what's up. Are you guys ready? This is labeled hard on triviaquestionsnow.com.
All right.
Who was the first rookie since Allen Iverson to have 2 consecutive games scoring at least 35 points?
Oh,
You just raise your hand or
First rookie, right? You said rookie?
Yeah, just say your answer.
First since AI.
So since 96.
Yeah. I'll give you one hint if you want it.
Sure, I'll take a hint.
It was in 2019.
2019.
Or the 2018-2019 season.
Was it?
So it was a 2018 draft pick.
Yeah.
So was it Luka Doncic?
Incorrect. Good guess though.
Was it the draft class that was going into the pandemic? Like they finished the season in the bubble. Was it that draft class?
No, it was the year before.
That's Aiton's class. That's Trae Young's class. It's Luka's class.
Oh, Trae Young.
Correct. Easy.
I hate
Trae
that guy.
Young. Ice Trae the
Listen,
guy.
even if I got it right, I don't want to, think about those stats. I don't care for Trae Young.
I don't hate him.
I love Trae Young.
Why do you love
Yankees
Trae Young?
fan.
You're a Knicks fan.
I'm a Knicks fan, yeah.
Bro, he embarrassed you. He embarrassed you.
He did, but like, I don't know.
We're gonna get off. I can't talk. I don't care for him really. I guess he's not bad though.
I like Oklahoma.
Yeah. We got a good lineup topics today. A lot's going on right now, especially with the Midsummer Classic that just happened, which will send the entire sports world into a drought for the next month. We got the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game, All-Star Week in general. We got to talk about the commercial flight boys, Juan Soto and Paul Blackburn, 2 very similar players, 2 very I would put them on the same path. There's no difference in between them. No skill level gap.
Yeah.
So they both deserve the commercial flights, probably Southwest. You deserve to fly Southwest once in a while. Humble yourself. And then we're going to switch out trade deadline, MLB trade deadline, just talk some trade targets and where those pieces are moving around, where we think they could move around. And then we'll switch to basketball, where Luke and Sam will take more of the floor, mostly Luke. We're going to talk KD talks, how they're kind of non-existent right now. Donovan Mitchell, we got some rumors, some headlines flying around today, actually. Some Utah radio hosts are coming out and saying the deal's already done, which is kind of insane. And then we're going to move straight on to football, where we talk Kyler Murray's big extension. That's more than the baseball teams that drafted him, more than their payroll. And Madden ratings, because why not? It's Madden.
Why not?
And then we're going to end with another trivia question and see who reigns supreme.
All right.
Probably Sam again. So let's get into it, Sam, I want to hear your initial reaction to all of All-Star Week. How did you feel about it?
So my Yankees getting 6 All-Stars.
He didn't
Already
have to open
pumped
with
for
that.
it.
Okay.
Already pumped for the All-Star game. And then, listen, J-Rod, my favorite player right now, probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the hottest of takes right now about him.
Okay. Wow.
He is the Mariners' next Griffey.
I wouldn't say that's entirely out of the realm of possibility. I would say he is going to be a multi-all-star player. I think overall this was the J-Rod show.
100%.
Well, at least the home run derby. Griffey already loved him. He was taking photos of him. I don't know if you saw it. They kept flashing over Griffey, who just had like a giant ass camera, just like click,
A
click.
Shaq moment.
Yeah. But watching that first round, it was like he looked like the only one that was comfortable in round one. Like everyone else, like Acuna's pitcher was throwing like splitters or whatever and like sliders, like literally he was swinging out of his shoes. But Pujols is just like old. But J-Rod looked so comfortable in the moment. He was quiet. He also wasn't taking it too seriously, like my Peter Alonso, who was literally doing deadlifts and praying in the locker room of what's supposed to be a fun event. You called J-Rod from the beginning. You called him as the rookie of the year. I doubted you. I think Luke did too, honestly. I don't think either of us really thought he was going to be like anything crazy this year, especially after the April he had.
Oh, yeah.
And rookies generally need I think it's around 300 plate appearances on average before they break into like their MLB mindset. J-Rod took a month, only a month.
Yeah.
And it's insane. You're totally right. You can flaunt that all you want. So
yeah.
Dan, we had Seiya Suzuki. We both agreed on that.
I didn't have Seiya. You had him for NL.
I had Seiya Suzuki, who started off really well. I mean, early on he seemed like the clear choice, but I mean, I don't know. I guess.
I think I had Seiya too.
For NL, yeah. I now Seiya. I mean, he's not doing bad.
No,
by any means. He's hitting. I think he got hurt. He was hitting. He had 807 OPS, which is, it's solid for a rookie, especially. Any OPS for a rookie above 800, I think is like wow. And that's why J-Rod, who's had I think a 900 OPS over the past 2 months, is just the runaway favorite. No one is going to catch him. I think he could probably get injured today and still probably have like a top 2 case.
Yes.
But what he's doing in the game right now is pretty amazing. Luke, I had Joey Bart as the NL rookie, who I didn't know too much about. I knew him from MLB The Show. I'm not going to lie, but I was like, hey, the Giants develop catchers super well. Joey Bart has played 47 games and he has a 668 OPS, which is very bad. And for the AL, I had Torkelson, who yeah, but we don't have to
win
talk
AAA MVP.
Yeah, probably. But no, he's still up in the majors, right?
No, he got sent down.
Oh, okay. No. Yeah, that was more prospects become busts than they do stars. Sure. But I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. He could still figure out a swing. He's still got a lot of talent. It's tough to see.
I think he's going to be good. I think everyone was just so trigger happy to call people up at the beginning of the year.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, that's what I feel like after the Mariners whole scandal with Kelenic, everyone was kind of felt a little. All the owners kind of probably felt a little pressure. But that development, man, it's tough. Overall, I'll go into my takes about the whole weekend. I thought it was awesome. I thought home run derby, I honestly, other than J-Rod, was a little dry. Pete really underperforms. Acuna didn't even put up a fight. J Ram didn't put up a fight. Pujols, Schwarber got probably paid to lose. They even screwed up both of their counts, or there was rumors flying around that they screwed up both of their home run counts, which kind of set it in Pujols' favor. I don't know if that's true. And Soto won, but he wasn't anything crazy. He just, I think J-Rod ran out of steam. And then he also played Pujols and J-Ram in the first 2 rounds. And it was like, well, it happens. Luke, I don't know. Did you watch any of the home run derby?
Yeah, so I watched both the home run derby and the All-Star game. Yeah. The home run derby, I caught the back half of. Caught the back half of the first round, but then I watched the rest of it. And I did have Pete Alonso just for the sake of like that three-peat. It looked so nice. But I mean, the first round I saw was Pujols and Schwarber, and it was what it is. I liked the home run derby. It was my first one that I'd watched. I'm not very well versed in the MLB.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. And then the All-Star game, in my opinion, was an absolute snooze fest. I literally fell asleep during it.
Okay, that's good to hear.
And what made matters worse is my least favorite player in the MLB, Giancarlo Stanton, won MVP. So, but yeah, I mean, in my opinion, All-Star games are fun. In more recent years, it's no secret that they've lost their steam a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was excited for it, and I think it was a really good All-Star weekend, and the media that's come out about it. I mean, I think the MLB did a really good job this year.
Yeah, I think despite the offense, which I won't even lie, I saw the Stanton and Buxton homers live, and then there was no offense other than that. So after that, so it was just like, well, that sucks.
I watched JD Martinez. His last at bat he was just swinging, man. He was just, I just want to get out of here.
Did any Red Sox get it? Oh, did Bogarts get a hit?
I
don't think so. I
saw the clip of Andres Jimenez though.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was sick.
That's the guy that the Mets traded for Francisco Lindor. So it's like, well, he's kind of making plays that Francisco Lindor makes, and he's an all-star. Not to take away from Lindor. I love Lindor. Yeah. But I think there were pros and cons. I got a few written down. Pro, Alek Manoah. I don't know if you guys saw the clip. That was electric. That was electric. He was like, he was talking to Smoltz, who gave him a pitch to throw at Jeff McNeil and then threw at Jeff McNeil. But other than that, 3 strikeouts, and he was, excited about his pitches. He was like, I'm gonna give Jock Peterson something to flinch at. Throws him in a high and outside sinker, and Jock literally just completely flinches on strike 3. That was so sick. They really got it. It's hard to do when it's the regular season because everyone's committed to games. But if they can do any more of that, that would be awesome. I don't know. You guys probably saw that clip.
Clase as well.
Clase was awesome.
Closing out the game, his energy was great. I love that.
Yeah.
Nestor and Trevino. I don't want to be biased. No. That was super cool. That was awesome. Okay. We hate, game respects game. The Yankees were half the AL highlights. It was honestly really entertaining. Trevino's such a good guy. Yeah.
And it was really cool to see them communicating. Those conversations between pitcher catcher, those relationships, those need to be pushed in front, because when Nestor was like, we're going to get him back with another fastball, Trevino was like, yeah, let's do it. And then they got it. He's got the strikeout. And then Trevino was like, do you want the ball? And Nestor was like, yeah, I want the ball. They're both first-time All-Stars, and they're just, communicating on the battery on how to get some of the best hitters out in the league. That's super cool.
Yeah.
The Trevino hit as well was awesome.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
Yeah, especially because they're mic'd up. I think that's the best.
Trevino is I don't know if you guys saw the video of when they told him he was going to be an All-Star.
Yeah,
that was the most wholesome thing in the world.
Yeah,
that was really cool. I don't want to get into my argument for why he shouldn't be an all-star, but I'm not going to, because it was cool. He's a good guy and he's deserving.
Yeah.
And even though Christian Vasquez is a better catcher, but anyway,
I would argue Jonah Heim
Well, that too. Jonah, his offense has been incredible. And he's a good defender too. So
I think there are too many Blue Jays in there.
That's not even
Espinal.
Yeah, that's not even like our fault. That's the MLB's fault for.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the Canadians' fault, really, for like they go hard. They get all their fans to vote. It's kind of scary. I mean, they have a whole country.
Yeah.
But that was not. There was some. I could go on and on about how All-Star voting needs to be changed, but I mean, the MLB All-Star game is easily the best All-Star thing, like All-Star, like Pro Bowl thing in all of sports.
I think so.
It's because they can play the actual game. Like they don't dumb it down at all. Like NBA is just a dunk contest, and then NFL is just like, let's like they didn't even try. Like the offensive and defensive lines didn't even try. So it's like no one wants to get hurt or hurt like a star QB.
Right.
They should just get rid of the Pro Bowl, I think, and just have like events.
Yeah, it's like football is like contact sports is so hard to do for like an All-Star game. No one's gonna want to try. Especially with how soft the NBA is nowadays. Like Embiid will not touch anyone.
I want to see RJ Richard Jefferson officiate in
that'd be so funny.
Game. He had 11 missed calls in his summer league debut. So
that was funny. Yeah, RJ is a character. NBA reffing is tough. Few negatives from the weekend, I'd say. Well, actually, one last positive. Poppy was awesome. So funny. He like literally like embarrassed the entire AL dugout, and then said to judge, "Pay the man," and then walked away. And then he also told Alec Manoah he'd take him deep. That was super cool.
and the money gun on
Bogey, that was cool. Yeah, Poppy really has done an awesome job in his Hall of Fame year.
Yeah, I agree.
Like just being a good representative. He's taking the Shaq role. Or like the Shaq and Chuck role, kind of. So that's cool.
100%.
Negatives. Paul Blackburn. That hurt.
Yeah.
The A's are just miserable. That's the only thing to say. And same thing. Well, even more so, the Nationals are just embarrassing. Sure, you could say whatever you want about the contract that he got offered, but you got to still fly him. You got to treat him with respect. If you want any hope of keeping him, you got to treat him with that respect.
I could go on a whole rant about the National.
Yeah.
How shitty that
it's just funny because they won a World Series so recently, but it's their small market. And it's just like, it hurts. Like Soto is a generational talent, even though he had a down first half. And you put him on a commercial flight and every other team has a private. So it's just, it's embarrassing.
Soto was my MVP pick, and
it could still happen.
I mean, it could, but I mean, Sam's mentioned it a couple times. I say he sits, man. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, and going back to Blackburn, I say good on the Astros for that.
Yeah, it's a good PR.
Yeah.
Which is what they need. Good PR. Especially like with Jose Altuve not being in the All-Star game ever again, just because he's like, I don't know, he's claimed because of injuries, but he hasn't been in the last two, probably just because he doesn't want to get booed. Also was at Dodger Stadium, so that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, just good press for the Astros, but man, Soto. Where do we think Soto's going to go?
San Diego.
San Diego? Yeah. I mean,
I got San Fran still. I think that was
Are they in the mix? I forget if they're still in the mix. Bob Nightingale on Twitter released a list today.
Are the Mets still in the mix?
Oh yeah, Mets. So the Baseball America called the Mets farm system the best in baseball, or deepest.
I'd love to see him on the Mets.
I would too, as an NL Mets supporter. But you're trading crosstown division rival and a generational talent, or not crosstown, but cross division generational talent. Like that's going to be tough. That would be like every National fan would probably denounce their fandom.
You know what I heard? Like it was just brief on Twitter. I don't think it's going to happen, but could be really fun. Is the Mariners? Yeah,
they are right in it. They also.
I think Mitch is tradable.
So I'd say they give up Mitch, Kelenic, Noelvi Marte.
They have a really deep system right now.
Another pitcher.
Yeah, give up Evan White. But and Kalanick. Yeah, just dump Kalanick in the mix. But so Bob Nightingale 2 hours ago. 7 teams, including 3 in the NL West. So Mariners, Padres, Giants, still in the mix. They're going to send some offers. Dodgers, Cardinals, Yankees, Mets.
St. Louis, man.
That would be a killer lineup. I don't know who they could get rid of. Well, Nolan Gorman would have to
go. That's what I was, yeah.
But I don't think they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's great. He's really great.
So good.
Matt Liberatore would also have to go. And then
Mason
Bader,
Wynn.
Maybe Bader. Mason Wynn, definitely. Yeah, and these are all teams that have deep systems. Like the Yankees would have to every one of these teams would have to give up their top prospect. I don't think that's that crazy to say, or like an up and coming player that's still on in like team control. Like the Mets are almost, if they want any chance, they're almost certainly going to have to give up Francisco Alvarez, who is I think the number 10 prospect right now. I saw him.
They just updated it. He's number 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I saw him play against the Fisher Cats, and he looks like he's ready. He could be called up, but I know the Mets are going to slow the development with him. I don't know if the Mets want to get rid of him. I know Mets fans definitely don't want to get rid of Alvarez. He's the future, especially with the holes in the catcher position. It is Juan Soto. That's another thing we got to keep in mind.
He's definitely would be worth that 15 years.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, here's my thing.
Okay.
If Soto's going to be a free agent in 2.5 years, why not, build a core team, like, go on playoff runs and wait those 2.5 years and just offer Soto a huge contract.
Yeah.
I mean, the Nats have burned the bridge between them and Soto. I feel gone. Like now he has to get traded.
But here's the thing: it's kind of a Kevin Durant situation. Well, and even more so because they have him in control and they don't have to give him any money right now. The Nats don't have to do anything until they get an offer they like.
Right.
They don't. Yeah. They'll tank. They don't care. They're already in last. They're not doing anything in the division. And they got other people on the move too. Josh Bell is definitely gonna have a possibility for on the move.
Nelson Cruz.
Yep. They also want to move Corbin. So it has to be a team that can take Luke, I don't know if you know about Patrick Corbin, but lefty pitcher, and he has a big contract on him right now. It might be one of the worst contracts in baseball. He signed for 6-year, $140.
I argue Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, they have 2 really bad contracts, but the 2024 deal for Corbin right now, he has a 4-12 record with a 5.8 ERA. And they really want to move him. I could be one of those things where the Mets pick him up and then just instantly DFA him because he has a 1.6 whip. Like no one's going to take him. He has the most earned runs and most hits given up in all of baseball this year. And he's been a shell of his former self since his last year or his first year in Washington, which he wasn't even that good. They gave him this big contract extension when he had a 1.18 whip. So, the Nationals, Sam, like you said, we go on and on, but
yeah,
if I had to give my top 3 teams that could get him right now, I would probably say LA is always in the mix just because of how deep they are and, their go-gettingness. And then I would have to say San Diego and Mets, just because the Mets have that deep system, even though it is across town, they have the deepest system in all baseball. So you got to put them in the mix. And then Yankees, it's like they're already dealing with Judge. I don't think they're gonna, if they lose Judge, they could maybe make a move, but that's like, I don't think they're gonna do that. And then it's like Cardinals is like, that'd be really cool, but they're a smaller team. Right. Mariners, kind of same boat. So
I just gotta say, I'm a Sox fan through and through. You see the pennant in the back. But being from New York, I mean, you got to pick a side, right?
Yeah. Right.
And, I got to say, I would love to see this Mets team win. And I think Soto obviously can get it done for them with what they have.
It's another thing. Starling Marte, I don't know if you saw him at the All-Star game. He was recruiting him so bad. He was literally
stunner.
Also, his outfit was killer. He had like the 6-pack in front.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing is a washboard. But dude, Starling Marte was recruiting him hard. Juan Soto answered a question, but he loves playing in New York. He literally was like, look at my numbers. So, it's up there. I don't know. Sam's looking a little sus. I don't think he likes that. But
so I think him going to the Mets would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I just see him going to the Padres a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Padres, he still have a good farm system.
Yeah.
I
Soto's
say we'll
Dominican.
See when,
he might be. I'm not sure.
We'll see when Fernando comes back. I mean, is there any timetable on that?
He's started taking swings. He should be back in a week or two. He's going to start his rehab assignment in the next week or two, I think. Which that has been literally said that every week for the past month. So
yeah. I mean,
as far as Dominican presence go, I mean, both Machado, the Padres, and
I think Machado's from.
No, because didn't he play on the Dominican team in the
he
WBC?
might have.
But Machado, I think Tatis, and then that I think that's under both stars, so that's an appeal. The Mets too. I mean, the Mets have a variety. The Mets are a very diverse franchise right now.
But Tatis and Soto on the same team.
That'd be unbelievable.
God.
I don't. That'd be a tough but they have to get rid of to get him.
I think I got to get rid of Mackenzie Gore. CJ Abrams is another guy that's gonna have to go. Grisham maybe.
Yep.
Morehone, Jackson Merrill. I think he's an outfielder.
A lot.
And another pitcher. I don't even know.
CJ Abrams. CJ Abrams for sure. Who's a shortstop, but I think we're gonna have to go back on this topic in a week. Once some of these teams, kind of realize that they're in a fine situation and don't need. I mean, everyone would love Soto, but they really don't need to give up all that. Right? It's a lot. So we can talk about some other trades, some top trade targets we got coming up. I think the deadline is in a week, so it's I think the 30th. So, Sam, I know you've had some takes boiling in the oven or in the pot. So you want to give us some of your best takes and why?
So Castillo, I think to the Yankees because this isn't me trying to be biased.
Yeah,
he's been linked to them for years.
Mm-hmm.
For years, and they need a 6-man rotation to go far. Because Jordan Montgomery is the one that I'm worried about the most as a Yankees fan.
Yeah,
and if we can have him as a long reliever, Castillo pitched really well in New York the other day. I think an earned run over 7, and then Montes, I think Dodgers. Because, of course, the Dodgers are going to make a huge.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers kind of need to make that push, especially with what's his name? Andrew Heaney being out for so long.
Injured.
Who?
Walker Buehler is on the 60-day IL.
Kershaw is always a mystery. Their current rotation right now is Kershaw, Arias, Mitch White, Tony Gonsolin, Tyler Anderson. Gonsolin's been amazing, and Urias and Kershaw are bona fide starters. I don't know how well Urias has been this year, but he was, I think, in a Cy Young mix last year. Yeah, I think the most wins in baseball.
Tyler Anderson's been good.
Tyler Anderson has obviously filled that void. That's the thing with that's the thing with them. They don't really need to. They can develop guys so well and put them in roles that they're not comfortable with. And Tyler Anderson has certainly filled that void, but I think that luck could run out. Arias, by the way, has a 2.89 ERA this year. So he's always solid. And his record's 8-6. So it's not even like he gets the run support. All right. Continuing on with some trade targets. So Sam, you mentioned Frankie Montes to the Dodgers and also Castillo to the Yankees. If I had to pick one that's more realistic, I would say Montes. Just because the Dodgers always make a move. They were certainly made some moves last year, and they need someone to fill the void because Mitch White and Tyler Anderson are not going to do that forever. And then Castillo, I really see anywhere. I think any team that needs a starter they could go for. I don't even know. The Yankees, I think their first priority should be an outfielder, for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're gonna necessarily make that move. As far
as
just
Brian Reynolds,
the Astros have walked it off on the Yankees to take Game 1.
Wow. That's a good start to the second half of the season. The Yankees are going to tank. Sox on top. Anyway, that's all satire, by the way. The Yankees are just most definitely going to win the division. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Well, what do you think, Sam? Do you think they need an outfielder or a pitcher more?
I've been telling my friends that are Yankees fans, dying for a Brian Reynolds trade.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I am willing to give up Oswald Peraza, a couple pitchers.
Yeah, but I don't think either side would make that move. I think if the Pirates have anything going for them right now, it's Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz. Now they're the Pirates.
Brian Hayes.
Yeah, that's true. And so they got some young pieces, and the Pirates are always going to be themselves, but they're also in third place, which isn't a terrible spot to be considering where they were last year.
But they love giving us their good players.
Yeah, but
I
think that's probably the last time they'll do that. Now, when I look at the Yankees, I see Judge play as their everyday center fielder now. I feel like
I don't like it.
Yeah, you might not like it, but the Yankees do. I don't think he's had any game. I don't think any games last month or this month in right field. Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
So I think they're fine with him there. He's a great fielder. He's not fast. As far as outfielders that could go to the Yankees, not Benintendi anymor.
They hate him now.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think any AL East team is going to get Benny.
Yeah, he's definitely not a Sox reunion. And they also they would not do that. As far as other outfielders go, Wilson Contreras can play left field. Is he a good outfielder? Yeah.
Oh, on Wilson Contreras.
Oh, yeah, he's getting traded.
I have a better spot for Wilson Contreras. It's probably the same one you have.
Houston.
Yeah. They need a catcher bad.
Seattle, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also true. Contreras might be the hottest trade target just because he's such a good hitter and can play. He's not like as bad as the catcher as Kyle Schwarber was or like something like that. Like he is a decent catcher. So he's also a vet. So they definitely, I think any team. Yeah, and that division is getting really competitive now with the Mariners on their 14-game win streak. So
I heard the Mets too.
I don't think that will happen. The Mets definitely need a catcher, but I think they're gonna wait till Alvarez is ready. Not this year, but I think they'll get by. Especially James McCann was a terrible contract, or is not really filling up to his role. But I think Nito will be fine for them. So
I also saw a thing about CJ Cron potentially going to the Mets. That would be interesting.
That would be awesome. I love CJ Cron.
Dan's like, don't get my hopes up.
Yeah,
DHing.
There's a few things. There's a few people in the Mets radar. One is actually Daniel Vogelback, Big Thickums himself. I don't think that will happen. They do need a DH bad, so they can really go for anyone. Any hitter, Nelson Cruz, but I don't think the Nationals would do that. How has Nelson Cruz been doing this year?
I have no clue.
I have not heard.
Not paid attention.
As far as any free agent goes, I have not heard anything.
I haven't seen his name pop up on the MLB home run Twitter. So
sitting 242, he's not having a good year. 685 OPS. So it's kind of crazy.
8 home runs though. Most have gone.
It's not really that great.
Under the radar though. I mean, he's 41. His career is pretty much over, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Jose Abreu is the next Nelson Cruz.
Like, as in what?
As in like hitting his prime when he's older.
Yeah, and as in this DH that's going to play for years even though he's old.
That's true. I it's really surprising how good of a first half he had with Minnesota last year, but the reality is he has a 685 OPS, and he has an OPS plus of 100, which is average, as like dead average. So because I think that National Park is pretty hard to hit in a.
There's so much talent on that White Sox team, and I'm so shocked that it's not clicking for them.
Yeah,
Tony Russo.
That's and another thing is they looked like they were going to be buyers this deadline. That is not the case anymore. As far as which I think next week we're going to do or the next few weeks we're going to do a second half player draft. Just like pick players who we think are going to explode in the second half. One of mine is Louis Bob, just because I love him, and I am biased, but he did have an insane last 5 games right before the All-Star break, and he's figuring out his pop. So
I got a pick too for that.
Oh, okay.
I can save it. I'll save it.
Okay. Stay tuned. This is good. This is good. Stay tuned. Cole Calhoun, Rangers outfielder, also potentially on the move. Anyone on the Rangers is on the move. So Martin Perez.
Who would want Cole Calhoun?
He's slow in the outfield, and he is good. Well, I think he's a lefty. The last time the Yankees traded for a lefty Texas Rangers outfielder, it didn't really pan out. He's 6 for his last 50, by the way, with 28 strikeouts. Anyway.
Just DFA him at this point.
Yeah.
He's so
they're going to get no trade value out of him. So
it's crazy how he hits so well in Texas. And then comes to Yankee Stadium, which is pretty easy to hit if you're a power hitter.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little I don't know. It's just like maybe it's a mirage. Maybe it's not as easy to hit, because I think his swing, it looks like he just kind of like flicks his wrist now, and it just does not work. Daniel Bard of the Colorado Rockies, reliever. Another reliever, David Robertson, who has been linked to the Mets. There's a team in the AL East that needs a reliever. That's the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
So,
dude, I'm saying Daniel Bard back to Boston.
I would love that. I think I have been saying that for a while now. That would be probably that is a possibility for the Red Sox, especially with Heim under the steering wheel. They're not going to make huge moves, especially if they just had a terrible last few games, but right before the break, which we don't have to get into. But
I wonder who beat them.
Yeah. Anyway,
Daniel
Bard. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, everyone.
No, Matt Carpenter beat them.
We don't have to talk about him either. Daniel Bard is a borderline all-star this year. He's putting up some great numbers, 2.02 ERA. He's got a 1.9 WAR, which is pretty great for a reliever of his caliber. And the Sox need someone to be a closer for them. And he has 20 saves on the year. And the Sox have been bouncing around closers this year, especially between Houck and Whitlock and John Schreiber, who they just are pretty adamant about keeping him out of the closer role. I don't know why.
They've been putting Strom in there.
Yeah, Strom, who is just, underperforming, I'd say.
Who was also a starter.
who was also a starter, Jake Diekman has also been in that role a few times, and he is probably the worst reliever on the lineup right now, other than like Phillips Valdez, who I think is in AAA. But yeah, I'd see Daniel Bard to the Sox. That'd probably be my most adamant take. I think that could definitely happen. And then the Wilson Contreras to the Stros. I think they're going to make a hard push for Contreras. I don't know who they trade, but
I don't know who they trade for, but I've been seeing a lot of, and I've said this before, but Josh Bell to the Red Sox.
Yeah,
they could use him. They could use him.
That, and I would love. Trust me, I would love. Like as far as like ceiling for the Red Sox, in this trade deadline, I would love to have him on our team. Is it realistic? I don't know if Heim's going to be able to give up that much.
Yeah,
it'd be great to get Frankie and Bobby Dahlbeck off the roster, and I feel like if you're going to trade any two, the trade has to start with that. And then you have to give up a prospect. The only thing is, they do have Casas. So are they going to be that adamant about who has fallen off the prospect like top 15? He's in like 30 now because of his injuries.
Right.
But he's still there, and he is what they want to be, the first baseman of the future. So
Josh Bell would be a rental though.
Yeah, and Josh Bell would be a rental. But is it worth it to give up? Like they're going to have to give up a pretty good prospect for him. So I don't know if it's necessarily worth it.
Sneaky team is the Rays
for Josh Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they need for space.
They definitely do. G-Man Choi's fallen off the face of the earth.
They start though,
or just a DH.
Start. They just need hit. They always need hitting. They're the Rays. Especially, and Wander's out, so they don't have any offensive production. Like, do they have any offensive production anywhere?
No, and that's the crazy part is that they're still in the wild card.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I'm gonna pull up their roster resource on FanGraphs real quick. But yeah, they swept the Sox and they were hitting. They were hitting really well. They still have Choi as their first base. Let's see. I actually want to check out his stats. Because I might not be crediting my young sick king. Let's see real quick. He is hitting 278 still. He has an above an 800 OPS. So I am sorry. Maybe they don't need a first baseman. Maybe they just need DH because Choi can play.
Yeah,
some good defensive first base. They got Isaac Paredes, who's been on and off. I honestly think they probably won that deal with the Tigers. Just somehow.
Austin Meadows is still good. I just don't hear about him.
Yeah. He's been okay this year. Just okay. Fielding. It's kind of like that Robbie Grossman last year. So anyway, you got to take
Josh Bell to the Brewers.
Yeah, that would, especially with the Brewers who just. Again, need offense every year. And who did they get? They got Eduardo Escobar last year, and he was kind of a dud. So even though I love Eddie Escobar, they definitely need offense. So I think in that mix too, you could include maybe Nelson Cruz if they're willing to take a risk on him. But other than that, this is not a huge trade deadline. I feel like, Trey Mancini could.
That's what I have one. I got Anthony Santander to the Yankees.
To the Yankees. Oh my God, I like that, but Ian Happ to the Yankees.
I think we lost Dan. I think Dan.
Can you guys still hear me?
Oh yeah, you're frozen though.
I'm frozen.
For me.
I'm gonna take a picture of this.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm moving. I can see myself now. I just can't. You guys just are not moving.
It's New Hampshire internet.
Yeah. Oh, barn.
Anyway, do y'all want to give some final trade deadline thoughts before we move on?
I think it'll be interesting. Not as good as last year. Nowhere near as good as last year.
All right, if Dan is still with us, which I don't think he is. He
has
probably
the same take as me.
Yeah. All right, so I'll jumpstart this NBA conversation between you and me while we wait for Dan to come back. So let's just start it off with Kevin Durant. One of the bigger reveals, I guess, that we have seen in this offseason is Kevin Durant's unwillingness to continue to play in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn. What do you think about that?
I just think KD, it's kind of hard to respect him at this point. Not as a person, but he's just always sitting out.
Yeah.
Always creating drama. Brooklyn, though, on the other hand, as a Knicks fan, I will continue to laugh at Brooklyn because they've done this twice.
As you should. They
have done this twice in the last, I don't even know if it's 10 years. Maybe just a little bit less than 10 years. That Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade was awful.
Good for the C's.
And then Kyrie and KD.
We've segued into this Kevin Durant stuff here.
Oh, I'm all game. My computer cannot handle fan graphs, so it just broke. It wasn't even my Wi-Fi. I could hear you guys, and I was like, oh well. Let's hear it.
So Sam was just talking about how, as a Knicks fan, we like to laugh at the Nets with their awful trades, but we're also saying Kevin Durant is a very questionable person to have on your teams because of his unwillingness to stay in an area. Clearly he is a problem with front offices.
I'll just add one thing.
Yeah, go for it.
I think KD going to the Heat would be a fucking disaster. With Jimmy Butler, his personality.
Jimmy is not prone to.
Jimmy will bully KD into leaving if he doesn't put in the work.
I don't know. Do they like each other?
They might like each other, but you know how Jimmy is.
Yeah. Do you know who also liked each other? KD and Kyrie, and then obviously.
I think they still like each other.
They still want to play together, just not in Brooklyn. Horrible. Just not in Brooklyn.
I imagine. This is crazy. Imagine they stayed in Brooklyn. Imagine that'd be so awesome.
Listen,
they don't want to do that.
That's what's good. That's what's looked like it's going to happen at this point because, with these KD talks dying down, which to be honest, I don't ever think they really got any traction. Because nobody wants to give up their entire franchise's future for 33-year-old Kevin Durant.
So yeah, and yesterday was Windy City saying trade talks around KD have slowed to a trickle. Right. And then July 11th, Windy said that trade talks for Kyrie are frozen. And they have nothing's I have not heard a single.
So so with that, I feel like it's one is aligned with the other because there were some headlines coming out that the Lakers were trying to get them both.
Yeah.
Which will never happen if they want to keep that core. They can keep LeBron, but they can't keep Anthony Davis.
No.
Or Russell Westbrook, who I still have faith in. Honestly, I just think he needs to get off of that team.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this. One of the teams that has the firepower to ask to get a KD trade going, I feel like was OKC, which is kind of funny just because of how a massive amount of picks they have and the good situation they're in too now with Giddey and Chet. That's they are
and Shea. Can't forget about my boy.
And Shea. Yeah, that is a great foundation.
Yeah,
and they're not contenders this year or probably not next year, but they are in a good spot.
They are, and they still got the picks.
Yeah. They could totally, if they wanted to, make a bid at Durant. I don't think why would you? I feel like they are playing the long game. Wouldn't you rather? I feel like it's more valuable right now. Like all these Kevin Durant trades and these Donovan Mitchell trades are so many picks. It's literally a future, like a roster in like 8 years. And I feel like the Thunder are kind of like prioritizing, like, we have a good foundation. Let's do what these teams that build from the ground up do, like the Warriors and the Celtics, or the finals teams. And super teams have not been that great recently.
No, yeah.
I mean, other than the Mickey Mouse LeBron win. So
how did that go last year?
Yeah, exactly.
Got rid of their role players. Can't rely on those stars.
Yeah.
I do have to say though that with OKC, what they've done is really great, and they OKC, Detroit has had a really good offseason.
Yeah, man.
But if the Jazz can get 3 picks, if they can get 3 picks for Donovan Mitchell, much less 7 or 8, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
If they can get 3, they will be the best team in the NBA in a couple of years. That's my take, because they got all those picks for Gobert.
For Gobert.
That core was not working. It hasn't been working for 2 years. They've made the playoffs, but they were the 1 seed 2 years ago, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
So now they have great role players: Patrick Beverly, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and they also have Walker Kessler, who just got drafted. So I feel like Utah has a great foundation right now. They are going to fall out of the top Western standings.
Yeah.
They're also fielding offers for Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Which, break down that they're doing it the right way. And I gotta say, this might be a little Celtics bias, but it's a huge part. Gotta do with Danny Ainge and his ownership of that, or that presidency role of that team.
What's going on in Utah? What's going on?
Exactly.
But what's going on is it's working out for them. I think, it's the OKC model. You're sacrificing your fan base for the greater good. Like, I'm sure, the Mormons up there are not very pleased with the Jazz, but it's working out. They realize that these players are not meshing, and Donovan Mitchell, Mets fan, he needs to be on a bigger stage. It's that simple.
For sure. I think Knicks, I'm not.
No, I agree.
Knicks,
if he's going anywhere,
I think everyone agrees. I don't see him anywhere else, really.
Yeah. He looks so clean in that Knicks jersey.
He wears a lot of blue and orange.
I like it. So. People aren't liking it, but I'm liking it because that's a big lineup down there.
Yeah, but
Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell,
RJ.
Mitchell Robinson.
Here's the thing. I think
Obi Toppin.
I think the Jazz.
Isaiah Hartenstein too.
I think the Jazz realize that they can offer a huge amount of picks, or try to get a huge amount of picks. I think the Knicks will take it if they go down a little more than the 7-8. If they go 5 or 6, I think the Knicks will take it. And it's not that the Knicks are stupid, which we can get into that as weeks go on.
I don't know if we need to.
But signing Jalen Brunson for that much money, we'll see what happens. But I think they're in a position where they can start. They made the playoffs 2 years ago. Why not go for something? Why not try out anything? And I think this would be good for the New York fan base. Have a player that already loves New York as your point guard.
On the topic of New York, we talk about the Knicks' unwillingness to offer RJ Barrett in any deal, which I agree with. I think RJ Barrett is
maple.
Honestly, that franchise player.
Yeah.
And I also see Julius Randle in that deal for Donovan Mitchell, which probably lightens the score a little bit. But at the same time, I think that drafting has been a huge Knicks problem.
Yeah.
Because if it were me, I'm taking Darius Garland over RJ Barrett when Garland went, a couple picks after RJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another thing, players that the Knicks are going to have to give up for for Donovan Mitchell. You mentioned
Julius.
Julius.
I see Derrick Rose as well.
Emmanuel quickly. What do we think? Would they get rid of him?
I don't think he has enough value to deal him.
I'd pull the trigger on quickly over like Obi, I'd say.
Yeah, that's true.
But if we get him, we have enough guards.
I could see Randall, Obi, and like 4-5 picks.
I love the idea of the hometown hero with Obi Toppin. Yeah. So I would hate to see him leave, honestly.
Yeah, I don't want him to leave at all.
If he leaves, I feel like his career doesn't go anywhere. I feel like he's the best.
He likes he definitely is. New York. He's got the New York spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
But other than that, like that's all really like NBA trades are just kind of at a standstill.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. We can talk about DeAndre Ayton and the Suns. They're holding on to him.
That was crazy. So I as Phoenix track record goes, did not think they were going to match that. Did not.
Yeah.
I think that was honestly really bold from the Pacers. I was surprised.
No chance to get KD now.
Also, they did that match in like an hour. They were like, oh shit, I guess we're doing this. So I also didn't know that was a thing that NBA trade. Like I had no idea that was a thing. I was like, you have 24 hours to respond. It was like, it sounded like a threat, but it was kind of cool. The Suns, man.
Yeah. So I just want to, because they're almost at time here, but I just want to bring up one last point. I could be wrong with this Rudy Gobert trade.
Yep.
I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves are in win now mode. Mm-hmm. They have Karl Anthony Towns, is their guy.
Is Cat top? I saw a TikTok this morning that someone said Cat is in top 15.
Isn't?
Yeah.
We'd have to make that list. I mean, he's got to be right there.
Yeah.
They've got D'Angelo Russell, who, on the production side, I mean, he's tradable, but I think he's good for them.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, you got the Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, who's fantastic.
Great.
Honestly, I would pick Ant over LaMelo. Well, we could get into that another time, but I'll pick Ant over LaMelo. But yeah, I mean, I feel like with the addition of Rudy Gobert, the paint presence is insane. That rim protection is insane. And their shooting is going to be fantastic because you get Rudy Gobert in the paint. Cat is off on the side, shoots a three, he'll hit it. He won the 3-point contest. That team is great. I think they add a couple more guys. They make maybe one more trade. I think they're a top seed in the Western Conference.
I think a top seed too is Dallas.
Yeah.
That Christian Wood trade. I mean, Jalen Brunson, him being gone is going to hurt. But Spencer Dinwiddie still played really well with them last year.
I think you put and they got Kristaps. No, they don't. They traded him.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have Dorian Finney-Smith too.
Yeah.
Christian Wood. They got a really great young core, and Luka's only going to get better.
They fleeced the Rockets.
Minnesota. Just going back, the Pat Bev play-in thing just always plays in my head. It's so funny. Yeah. I feel so bad because he hasn't won much, but that was so funny. But it did show that they're passionate. They got a good fan base. They're not it's Minnesota, but
for sure
Minnesota's got good sports fans, and I feel like they'll. I agree. I think they'll be in the run. It'll be interesting to see, but I do think all those players are likable on their roster. Maybe D'Lo less so, just because he hasn't lived up to the Brooklyn D'Lo.
He's also a snitch.
Yeah, also
that's true.
Yeah, we don't deal with that. So, that's I think that's pretty much all the time we got today. We're gonna give you guys.
You got another question?
My trivia. This is NFL trivia. This is old.
Oh shit! This is Sam. Oh god.
Oh, old NFL. I don't know.
Well, not that old. Past 20 years. Here we go.
All right.
I didn't. Okay.
Who was the number 1 draft pick in 2005 and what team?
2005.
It's a quarterback, and they are not in the league anymore.
Carson Palmer.
Good guess. No.
That was 2003.
Oh,
good guess.
2005.
I don't think he's in the league anymore.
2004. Oh, Alex Smith to the 49ers.
Correct. Bang.
Because Rodgers is going to get that spot.
That was kind of a Sam-oriented question. I'll try to I'll make that better. Sam is currently up in trivia 2-0. We'll keep score.
You know what? Let's keep this trade moving. I'll take trivia for next time.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to see some MLB questions in there, fellas.
Oh yeah, I like that. But
maybe I'll throw an NBA in there.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Let's do it. Let's try it out. Anyway, that is all the time we got today. Thanks for listening. If anyone actually does listen, and we will see you guys next week to talk some second half MLB and more. If there's any trades in any other league, but this
can happen in a week. So.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, peace out.
Peace.